Hello and welcome to Clay to Candy, the show where I attempt to make just about everything from the ground up. And welcome to the Halloween 2025 series. I have one last project that I am so freaking excited to make. This project has been on my mind for a couple years now and I could not wait to make it. It is this awesome cauldron purse. So I'm going to show you how I made this today. So come on, let's do this, mama. What are you doing, roly-poly? This is like the best prop ever, right? Cauldron. Cauldron makes. Cat. My black cat. Since I am making up this cauldron completely from scratch, I need to make a template, and one of the things I know is that I want a round shape. The first thing I did was to find a shape that gives me the diameter that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and trace this first, and I'm doing it down the bottom here because I'm going to need to leave myself some room. Once I have my circle, I need to figure out what my diameter is, and so I usually just take my ruler, kind of eyeball where the center is, and then move it around until I get to its widest point. And for me, that became 9 inches. So now I'm going to multiply by pi, which is 3.14, whatever the hell the number is. What is pi? What is pi? 3.14159. Okay, so 9 times 3.14159 is 28.274. We'll stop there. So that is my circumference, and I want to divide this into 5 sections, so I'm going to divide that by 5, which gives me 5.655 is as close as it's gonna get. And we need to figure out what 655 is in fractions. Your ruler measures in fractions. You got to do your conversion. Somewhere between 5/8, which is too small, and 11/16. I'm gonna roll with just slightly over 5/8 because it's an easy number to read. Okay, so I'm gonna pick a point, and from this point would probably be better to have something like a piece of string. For everyone who says they'll never use geometry and that the algebra and maths have no place in your regular life, y'all, we use nothing but math all the freaking time as artists. So that would be 5/8, and we wanted to go slightly more than 5/8 is here-ish. I should be able to get this 5 times around my pattern, but I want to use this section of the pattern. So I'm actually going to start my line to look somewhat centered here. So I will put 1 dot here. I'm going to follow this. Way back when I used to tutor math, and when I did, I tutored it in a very practical type of way. So I would do exercises similar to this, more of a hands-on way of figuring out things rather than looking at charts and things. I find it to be much more effective, particularly for visual people. If you are a visual learner, then this is going to be your game. And if we did the maths right, should be close, but there may be slight overage. We can shoot in the middle here, because I wasn't trying to figure out that 1160 somethings. And if ultimately in the end we end up with 1/8 of an inch smaller of a cauldron, I don't really care. So we're going to go from here to here, and then from here to here, and then from here to here, and then from here to here, and from here to here. Okay, so now I can sort out where the heck my center point is from here. Should be a lot easier to measure. So I measure from here to here, that's 2 inches. That means the middle is here. And I got that to that. Now right here in the middle is my center point. Now I'm going to erase out, just want to keep my center point. There's probably another way of doing this, I'm sure, an easier way of doing this, but for me, this is the most precise and quickest way of doing this. So I'm going to come to the middle now. I don't need you. I'm going to keep this line. All right, that's my middle wedge. That's the keeper. Now that I have my center point, I can do this in Sharpie so that the pencil mark will all erase after. If I were to cut these 5 pieces of fabric and stitch them together, I'd end up with this perfect bottom round. But my cauldron has some height, which is why I left this space over here this way. So now from here, I need to determine what I want for the height of my cauldron. Let's keep the 5-inch thing running, and let's give us a square, like a flat line to follow. And again in pencil. I'm going to use this edge to keep me square. I do have squares for woodworking kicking around, but I'm going to use that edge to keep me square. You have to pay attention to your rulers. A lot of times they don't start on a 0. So this edge has like a little bit of extra on this ruler, which tells me that it's not exactly what I need it to be. If I were to cut this piece out, I'd have a rounded over bottom, but a very parallel top. And for a cauldron, I feel like you want to have more of a curve. I'm just going to give this a very subtle curve. Sometimes I will do a pattern where I work something out and I got to remake it multiple times until I get what I'm looking for. That seems like too drastic of a curve. So sometimes I'll make something in just muslin or a junk fabric I have laying around just to work it out. I think I'm happy with that. This shape right here is going to be the shape I need for my cauldron, and I am going to cut up 5 of those pieces because I know I want 5 pieces to come together as my rounded edge. This is going to give me that little round over bulb. This pattern does not account for a seam allowance. So when I cut this out, I'm going to be adding in 3/8. I kind of really like 3/8. I know a lot of people have different seam allowances that they tolerate. Me personally, I feel good on a 3/8. And since I cannot find my 3/8 dowel, it's going to end up being a 1/2 inch. I'm going to go ahead and trial this out of this muslin just to make sure that I'm down the road I want to be. I'm not caring about how perfect this is. Close enough is fine because in the muslin, because it is just a tester to make sure that my pattern works. I'm going to just do a straight stitch and make sure that I am on my 1/2 inch. Alrighty, so this will be the bottom of my bag, and I have that bulkiness going of that cauldronish part. And yeah, this is going to be an okay size. So when Joann's was in its final days, there was this, you had to buy 2 yards thing going on, and I picked up this for something specific I had in mind. This fabric was just not exactly what I wanted, and it is funky apparel fabric that I usually don't buy because it's such a pain to sew. Hopefully this isn't gonna kill me as I try to deal with using it for this. So I'm going to cut 10 of these. I actually need 10 of these. Plus I'm also going to be cutting some of this stuff. I love this stuff. This is a foam. I use this all the time for bags. Got some web on each side and it's really nice and stiff. Provides really good stability in bags. Well, this is gonna take some freaking time. Alright, so here's where things stand, and it's not a bad first attempt, but honestly, I've just decided that I do not like this fabric, so I'm going to go with a different fabric, and I'm going to go with a vinyl that is a little bit more sturdier. The interior is going to be a duck fabric. Now the other thing is that when I made this in a smaller softy felt, similar design, coming together here at the bottom was not so much an issue, but for some reason I think, you know, just because it's the bulky fabric and this particular pattern, it's making this funky thing happen on the inside. So I'm gonna have one more go with altering this pattern just slightly before I do the next one. What I want to do is make a separate round, so this pattern's gonna cut off And I'm gonna have a round bottom, but then have these ultimately kind of come up. And then also, I feel like this curve is maybe a little too drastic. So I'm gonna soften that curve a little bit as well. All right, I've adjusted my patterns and now I'm gonna cut all the same stuff out. I gotta do 5 of these, and then I have to do my 2 other fabrics, my inside liner and my new exterior. So this was the original. I have removed a circle for the center because that's gonna become a bottom. I went ahead and made that curve a little bit less drastic. Hopefully this is it, y'all. All right, so I got my Cauldron bottom all flipped up and ready to go. I'm gonna be making a rim, and I also need a handle. I have some of this. It's like a really thick felt. And you can buy pre-made ropes that you can put into bags, but I'm just gonna make some since these are the materials I have, and honestly, that stuff is really expensive. I'm gonna walk you through this real quickly because it's really noisy the weekend. Okay, so I put this rim around here, but I left a section here because I need to be able to flip this up. I'm gonna be installing a zipper around the rim of this, and I will be using a little bit of this extra strapping to sort of hide the zipper as it comes up the top, and that's why I need to be able to swing this up in order to do that stitching part. So aside from that, I need to also work on, and I'm gonna start this first, the top of the cauldron. I have this amazing faux velvet. This actually maybe this is real velvet. I'm gonna take some of this holy fabric left over from the dragon, stitch around that I'm gonna hopefully be able to stuff to get some of this to poke through, and then that will go onto another piece that will be a very slight rim that will sit on top of here, and that'll be the open top part. So I wanted to hint at, you know, what could be a bubbling potion inside that cauldron. I will be using some padding and probably some polyfill just to get this kind of peeking up through. Once all of that is done, it'll just be attach a handle and she'll be done. I cannot wait to have her. I'm really pleased with how she's coming out. I'm so glad I switched to this material over this material. This just feels, I don't know, this is like serious bag and like serious cauldron for a serious witch. Goofy witch. I'm a very goofy witch. I'm not all that serious, but I'm serious about my witchery. Y'all like my girls. Billy's there, but I mean my Sanderson sisters. Look at my sisters. Anyhow, I'm getting goofy now. I am not feeling well. This is the last project to this series. I love this part of it, but I also gotta get a move on with things. All right. Anyhow. So unfortunately, my go with this velvet material did not work out, and I ended up having to switch it out for some satin that I had. But the blue was a lot brighter, so I ended up with a little bit more vibrancy. I really wanted to build up some volume so it looked like a bubbling brew, so I used some polyfill along with just the way I stitched and stuffed certain areas. Once that was squared away, it was time to start attaching my zipper. Alright, we are almost home free. I spent some time last night after finishing attaching this top, gluing up some of the edges around where the zipper is on there and under the lid so that it's a nice concealment. I do need to put on my D-rings for the handle strap, which, you know, every bag needs a handle. However, this is 5 points. I gotta make a decision. If I center the two handles, then they're going to be back here by the ridges. But if I put them in the center of two ridges, then it's not the center of the bag. So I think I'm gonna offset, bring the handle D-rings back here a bit. For the handles, I'm just adding in a D-ring, and then I will have a strap that goes around. I'm gonna be just using some pieces of my faux leather, 2 of these. I gotta cut another one the same size. My D-rings are on, and I am working on the handle. I have an idea, but I don't know if it's gonna work because we're making everything up as we go, as we always do on this channel. Most of the time, I'm just making it all up. But I have an idea. I stitched a tube and this little piece of this satin and a buttonhole in the center. I'm going to take a moment to see if I can get this hand stitched around the outside edge. I stitched up a strap and I was able to work part of that strap through my buttonhole that I stitched here. So I'm going to stuff this and hopefully work this around that end, but I think I need to make it into a point the way I did here, and that was the only way I was able to kind of get it up and through. I need to clip away my buttonhole. I'll leave the paper for a second just to see if it helps getting this on through. Slide this up here to stitch and then pull it back. Come on, shimmy shimmy. Should have made that buttonhole just slightly larger, but here we are. I'm gonna gently work this down here and hand stitch again. So now I'm going to be applying these hooks. I'm just gonna eyeball where I want. I'm gonna even these out. And now stitch these. I want to make sure that's in the downward position. Okay. With these, I've learned to start them in the middle. Oh, and there she is. I am super pleased with that. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. She's so lovely, my cauldron, my cauldron. This completes my Halloween ensemble, which I have made a couple years ago. My witch hat and my cape and my broom, my whole deal. She will be a happy addition to that and a conclusion to this Halloween series. So I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me this season. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already, and stick around for so much more fun to come.